I'd like to welcome you to this seminar. It's called From Procrastination to Elevation. I'd like to start with a quote. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by things you didn't do than the ones you did do. Okay? So the things that you haven't done, you'll be more disappointed than the things that you've actually done. And this quote was taken from Inspiring Quotes. We are a nation of aspiring entrepreneurs. And the statistics was taken from Moonfruit that concluded that 56% of British workers stated fear stopped them from starting a business. So what is procrastination? Pro in Latin means for, and crastinus in Latin means tomorrow. So if you're procrastinating, it means you're putting things off to tomorrow. Tomorrow is always a day away. Procrastination can sometimes be a human tendency, so none of us are exempt. I want you to think of this exercise that I'm going to do. Imagine I have a £10 note in my hand. If I was to say to everyone here, who wants this £10? We would all take it today. If I was to say, I've got this £10 in my hand, who wants this £10 in a month? No one would take it. The same £10 I've got today, if I said to you, I'm going to give it to you in a year's time, and then a year later I said, sorry, are you willing to wait another month? Some people would say there's not much difference between a year and a month. But there's not much difference between taking that £10 today as taking it tomorrow. It's the same amount of time. It's a day away. It's important to make a list of the things that you want to do and why. One way to move from procrastination to elevation is to have motivators. If you are not motivated, tomorrow will always be a day away. So the question to think of is, what are your motivators? Sometimes our motivators are forced on us. We might be saying, I'm going to start that business, I'm going to start that business, I'm going to start that project, I'm going to start that ministry, and we just carry on day by day procrastinating. But when a forceful situation comes, it may motivate us. So, redundancy, closed opportunities, dire situations, they may motivate you to say that tomorrow is not the answer, but today is the day. So think about what you want to do and why. Your why must be always more powerful than your what. Just let that sink in. Your why must be more powerful than your what. It's a reason behind why you do what you do, and you won't give up doing what you do. If I give you an example of my why, after I've worked with one business owner, I'm motivated to empower another business owner so that I can encourage them to develop in every gift and talent that they have. So my business will only stop when there's no more human beings left in the world. So what motivates you? And it's whatever motivates you that will keep you going from procrastination to elevation. Another way to move from procrastination to elevation is to bring your rewards nearer. If you make a phone call for an interview, to set up a bank account, if you do it tomorrow when you could have done it next week, give yourself a reward. That will help you elevate. Because you have to reward yourself to motivate yourself. So working hard on a project and not rewarding yourself is having all the pain and no gain. Have a process of achieving. So to move from procrastination to elevation, work out what is my process for achieving. My process might be every week I'm going to ring 5 people. And out of the 5 people that I ring to share my products, my services or ideas, if they're the right 5 people, I'm hoping to have a minimum of one of them use my products and services. And you keep your process of achieving on a regular basis. And that will help you move from procrastination to elevation. Remove the obstacles. You are in control. So if you were walking down the road and there was something in your way, you can either avoid it, you could cross over the road, but if you wanted to get directly to the other side of the road and not take a longer journey, you would remove the obstacle. I will give you an example. I was driving one day up a main road and the road did not say it was closed, but there were bollards in the road. I could clearly see that everyone could drive down that road. Most people took the right turn off the road and ended up driving for another 15 minutes to get back on the other side of the road. Because it wasn't a busy road, I took it upon myself to come out of my car and move the bollard, drive up the road, and then put the bollard back. That is a definition of removing the obstacle. It is a true story. What is the obstacle in your way at the moment? And how are you going to go about removing it? Because that will take you from procrastination to elevation. Use a timer to break up your task. It is said that a human being can only focus roughly for about 20 minutes on one thing. Now I know we try and do more, but use a timer. Focus on completing a form and then stop, have a break and come back to it. You'll find that things will be more efficient and you will do things more effectively. Have you ever tried to work to a deadline with coffee by your side, hoping that you will get through whatever task you needed to get through that was taking you hours. You know you might have done your best, but had you given yourself a much more longer period of time and put breaks in between, it wouldn't have been so demanding. Give yourself your own deadlines that you would like to work to. Deadlines that are manageable. If you want to start a business, put your process in place, have your list of things to do, and tick them off one by one. If it's realistic for you to get that done in 3 months, give yourself that deadline. If it's realistic for 6 months, give yourself that deadline. Procrastination to elevation doesn't work well with additional pressure. You will only stop and say, I can do it tomorrow. So, in focusing and moving forward, we encourage you to surround yourself with positive people. I talked earlier about dynamic relationships, so you know what makes a dynamic relationship. Also, keep yourself up to date with information about your industry. That will help you to decide when you're going to move and when you're going to elevate. Believe in yourself. You are the most important person in this process. And act with confidence. Confidence is like a badge. Make sure you wear it at all times. Keep distractions to a minimum. So if you're going to decide to do something, if there's any other distractions around your way, turn those distractions off. It could be social media, it could be the phone, but you don't have to turn them off forever. Those distractions could be turned off just for 20 minutes. At the time of recording this video, most self-employed people are completing their tax returns. And it's very easy, if you're not liking figures, to procrastinate. But what you can do is give yourself 15 to 20 minute blocks where you do a few figures, then have a reward system, have a break, then you go back again until it is completed. So this would be an example of keeping your distractions to a minimum. You can also set yourself a timer to complete specific jobs. So if you have a half an hour or an hour, you can set that timer and say that is the allotted time that I'm giving myself to complete the job. And this will take you closer to your goals. Imagine how far you will go if you do what you say. Imagine. So what are the advantages of taking action? It will help you to feel confident. In business, it will increase your sales. It will keep you focused. And it will also keep you moving. So let's focus now on elevation, because we've looked at procrastination, what it is, what it does, but how are we going to stay with elevation? As you can see, the first thing that you have to make is the start. So procrastination talks about for tomorrow. Elevation is all about today. The next thing you have to do is increase. What areas of your life do you want to increase? And when you are elevating, you will look and people will see that you are moving up. As well as moving up, you will also stretch. So you will be expanding into new areas, into new territories, into new customers. Once you've expanded, you will also multiply. So what you have in one area, you will multiply in others. If you notice, even if you use the same numbers, when you multiply, you have more than when you add. So 3 add 4 is 7, but 3 times 4 is 12. So multiplication is a fantastic sign of elevation. Addition is just having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and more of the same. But multiplication is when you're really elevating, because you're using different denominators to increase. Those denominators might be confidence. It might be expanding into new territories. It might be offering a different type of product or service. It might be working with a completely different people group. So when you're looking at elevation, look at addition as well as multiplication. And the biggest sign of elevation is fruitfulness. There are many fruits, delicious fruits, that we eat, that we like. How wonderful it would be for every single business owner to be fruitful in their area of expertise. What a wonderful picture that would be. So, procrastination to elevation. If you consider these 5 areas to focus on your elevation, make the start. Now is the time. Increase, expand, multiply, and as a result, there will be fruitfulness. Fruits do not grow by you talking to it. They grow by seeds going in the ground, being planted, watered, and having the correct sunlight. We are not responsible for growth, but we are responsible for planting, watering, and we can enjoy the fruitfulness of the seeds that we have planted. So I encourage you, if you ever think like every human does, to procrastinate, remember today is the day to act. So move from procrastination to elevation.